Good afternoon and happy Thursday, everyone. We're excited to have you join Navigating County and Metro Contracting Opportunities presented by LA County Supervisor Hilda Solis. If you happen to need technical assistance throughout the workshop, please feel free to reach out to Mildred Melendez. Mildred will drop her email in the chat. We also have Renata Torres, Contractor Development Manager, monitoring today's chat. If you would like to ask any additional questions, there will be a Q&A portion after the presentations. Today's workshop will foster future collaboration between LA County departments, Metro, and the Regional Contractor Development and Bonding Program, also as we refer to as CDAP. Small and diverse contractors are the backbone of the local construction economy. We're excited to share the county and Metro's commitment to providing fair and accessible contracting opportunities for small and diverse contractors to participate in the public procurement arena. So let's dive into today's agenda. First, we have Lakisha Bearden. Next, we are honored to hear from Supervisor Hilda Solis's office, Karina Macias, Senior Deputy of Transportation and Infrastructure, who has been a strong supporter of helping small and diverse businesses. Then Lakisha will provide the benefits and services provided with CDAP. Next, we will hear from Janet Ramirez, Finance Analyst with Meriwether & Williams, who will speak on a brand new program, the Contract Financing Assistance Program. We also get to personally hear from CDAP contractors, Adam and Bethany White from Fixed Dimensions, speak on their company's journey and success. And we'll get to hear insightful presentations, including opportunities from our partners at Metro, the County ISD, and County Public Works. So let the workshop begin. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Lakisha Bearden, Director of Program Development at Meriwether & Williams Insurance Services.
Thank you, Vivian, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Navigating Contracting Opportunities with Supervisor Hilda Solis. My name is Lakisha Bearden. I'm the Director of Program and Development for Meriwether & Williams Insurance Services. We are the administrators of the Los Angeles Regional Contractor Development and Bonding Program on behalf of the County of Los Angeles, LA Metro, and the City of LA. So we are really excited about hosting this event today with the supervisor. I'm happy that all of you are here joining us today, especially small businesses, because we know that your time is precious and we know that time is money for you. So this event really is intended to provide you with information about upcoming project opportunities that are coming down the pipeline, various agencies, small business programs, and how these agencies procure. But before we get into today's event, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the Supervisor Hilda Solis's office, Karina Macias. Karina serves as the Senior Transportation and Infrastructure Deputy to the Los Angeles County Supervisor Hilda L. Solis, who represents the San Gabriel Valley, Northeast Los Angeles, and the East Side as Los Angeles County Supervisor for the 1st District, Los Angeles Metro Board Directors, and MetroLink Board Director. In this role, Katrina is responsible for implementing the supervisor's transportation and infrastructure policy agenda, including but not limited to advancing community-driven transportation improvement projects, expanding community choices of quality transportation options, and addressing infrastructure gaps to raise quality of life and access to opportunity. A graduate of UC Berkeley and Cal Poly Pomona, Katrina has over a decade of experience overseeing transportation, infrastructure, and economic development policy initiatives, planning efforts, and project delivery in the Los Angeles region. Prior to joining the office of LA County Supervisor, Katrina worked as a transportation policy manager in the office of former Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, a transportation planner at the City of Los Angeles Department of Transportation, and mobility equity planning consultant to major cities and transit agencies across the county. Please welcome me, Karina Macias. I know I was saying your name wrong. I apologize.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
for joining us.
Lakisha. That's quite all right. So my name is Karina Macias. Thank you so much for having me, as well as for joining today's webinar. I serve as the Senior Transportation and Infrastructure Deputy to Los Angeles County Supervisor Hilda Solis. And on behalf of Supervisor Solis, I'm really thrilled to join you on this education opportunity. She's sends her regards, as she was not able to join you all, but she sent me in her stead to help motivate us to really tune in on the opportunity before us. So today you'll hear about Los Angeles County's Contractor Development and Bonding Program, which is administered by the Meriwether and Williams Insurance Services. You'll also hear about upcoming opportunities for you all to support the construction and delivery of some really important Metro and LA County Public Works capital projects. I also want to take a moment to mention that since the beginning of her public service career, Supervisor Solis has been a champion for small and minority-owned businesses and firms, which I hope many of you reflect. She really has been a champion for programs that help contractors of different sizes and skill sets to benefit from public contracting opportunities. The Contractor Development and Bonding Program is only one of those supportive programs that serves as a good example. This program is designed to support you as a contractor and encourage your participation in helping to build out infrastructure throughout Los Angeles. So today's webinar is going to be an excellent opportunity for you to learn about these benefits, as well as how to take advantage of these valuable resources, which are available to you at no cost. I'm also very excited to announce the new and exciting pilot contract financing assistance program. So this is a new resource for small local contractors who are pursuing public works contracts with our county department. So this pilot program will provide small local contractors enrolled in the Contractor Development and Bonding Program with funding, which will allow for cash flow, as well cash flow that will help fund your labor, the workers that you need to hire and deploy, as well as materials and other contract specific expenses while you're awaiting contract progress payments. We often hear that cash flow issues and having that seed funding and startup to participate in these public contracting opportunities is a barrier to have y'all deliver some of these projects. So the pilot program aims to address that gap. You'll also hear and this is thanks to a new partnership. I want to thank the leadership specifically at the Department of Public Works and our program administrator, Meriwether and Williams, along with PACE, who is bringing this much needed solution to fruition. I don't want to take too much of your time and just say that I urge you all to apply and really take advantage of these opportunities, because the county is in the middle of a significant multi-billion-dollar public works construction boom. And since we are due to host the 2026 World Cup, the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games, we really are, as a region, having a really strong focus in growing our contractor capacity and making sure that our smaller owned firms have the best and greatest access to these contracting opportunities, which of course primes you all to grow your business and grow your capacity to go for future opportunities. So again, thank you all for your participation today. I'll be tuning in the background and drop my contact information in the chat should you ever have any questions, causes, or matters that I or the Office of the Supervisor can support you with. And with that, I'll hand it back to Lakisha. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karina. Appreciate you being here today, representing the supervisor and all your district has done for the program. And I'm just looking forward to the continued partnership. And like Karina mentioned, there is a multi-billion-dollar boom that is underway in the county of Los Angeles. There is a lot that's coming down the pipeline, and it's important that our small businesses get a piece of the pie. Next slide. Next slide. So a little bit about our firm. Merriweather & Williams Insurance Services is by license a commercial property and casualty risk management consulting firm. We've been in business for 26 years now. We're headquartered in San Francisco. We have offices throughout the state, but what we're probably best known for is our contractor development and bonding programs that we administer throughout the state of California. We have programs with the city and county of San Francisco, Alameda County, the city of Oakland, in Fresno, and then obviously we have our regional programs here with the county, the city, and the metro. And we too are a small and minority woman-owned firm, so we understand and can relate to a lot of the hurdles that a lot of small businesses have to go through in order to do work successfully with county agencies, and public works. Next slide. So our mission is to reduce the barriers of bonding and access to capital that allow for greater participation of small and local businesses. And we do that by way of our 4 pillars of contractor development: assessment and technical assistance, bonding, contract financing and project assistance, education, training, and our contractor support, and our prime contractor partnership program. So really, all of these services really aid to a contractor's ability to grow their capacity, and to ensure that you are able to, in fact, work on a lot of these projects that require contractors to have the ability to bid with bonding and have the access to capital that's needed in order to really fill in the gaps when it's time to mobilize on project opportunities. So next slide. So what is bonding and why is it important? So bonding is mandated by law and it's required for public works contracts. And it really is a mechanism used by sureties that guarantee that a project will be completed, a task will be completed according to the contract. It's a 3-party agreement, and that 3 parties are usually the obligee, which is the agency or the prime that's requiring the bond, and the principal, who is either the individual or the company purchasing the bond, but also being required to perform the task. And then you have the surety, who is backing the principal on the bond and guaranteeing that they will indemnify the obligee if, in fact, there's a claim on the bond. So why is this important? It's important because it's mandated. It's mandated by law on all public works projects over $100,000. And you'll see as you begin to work with a lot of various agencies that threshold can be reduced to $25,000. So it's not something you can purchase. Bonding is not what you can, it's not like insurance where you can purchase. You have to qualify. We do have a bonding 101 training that will go into a little bit more depth about bonding and why it's required and why it's important as a small business growing in the public sector to really understand how to obtain bonding, how to increase your bonding, and you can do that all through the services provided through this program. Next slide. So a little bit about the program services. Again, if you are a small business contractor who currently doesn't have a bond line, we are we've been doing work with brokers and surety for the past 26 years. So we have great relationships with brokers and sureties who want to do business with small businesses. There's a lot of brokers and some surety markets that shy away from doing business with small businesses because they feel that they're higher risk. But the brokers and the sureties that we work with understand, have obtained a relationship with us and understand some of the pitfalls that contractors have, and with these types of programs that we have with Meriwether and the support of the agencies, we're able to really provide that guidance and support for our businesses, making it even more attractive to our brokers and sureties. We have our contract-based financing, which my colleague Janet Ramirez will go over in more detail. But this is an opportunity for businesses to take advantage of access to capital. And that has, along with bonding, access to capital has been an issue for a lot of small businesses. And so our program really is designed to provide the gap, fill in the gap for businesses who have been awarded a project and need to begin to mobilize, need to begin to get ready to start that new contract, but don't have the capital necessary to do that. And contract-based financing does just that. It utilizes the contract award as instead of your credit, instead of looking at your existing cash on hand. We also provide our businesses with a dedicated account manager, what we call our contractor development managers, who really act as I apologize. So I'm seeing a lot of comments about the volume. So I want to make sure that I make that adjustment. Is it better?
Hi, Lakisha, this is Olga. The sound is good. Wondering if maybe the attendees need to up their volume on their end. We hear you fine.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you sound fine. Maybe there's a little bit of fade in and out, but not major. Like, we understand what you're saying.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. So back with the dedicated account manager. So we have a dedicated account. Thank you guys. We have our dedicated account managers who really act as a business development manager, and their role really is to guide you through the process of doing work with public works. And it can be a beast. It can be a lot. And just to know that you have someone that can provide you with a roadmap of navigating a lot of the requirements that are expected as a small business. We also, with our programs, have access to collateral. So if you're looking to bid on a project, you're looking for a bid payment and performance bond, the program provides you with $250,000 of collateral, not to exceed $250 or 40% of the contract value. We also provide accounting cost subsidy for CPA prepared financial statements, which then is something that we offer if your broker is requiring that you have CPA prepared financial statements, and this is usually utilized when you are looking to bid on projects that are over $2 million. We provide our bid opportunities, project events, and email alerts, which really are an opportunity for you to take a look at what's happening in the local contracting community, networking events, as well as outreach events, and information on what's happening with in the industry in terms of contracting opportunity with the county or with Metro. Next slide. So I won't spend too much time on these. I think I talked a little bit about it, but as soon as you enroll in the program, you will be assigned a dedicated account manager, your contractor development manager, who will conduct an assessment. That assessment just kind of outlines where you are in your business. Are you in the entry? Are you new? Are you emerging? Are you a more advanced level business? Are you coming from the private sector and coming into the public sector? Really just identifying some of those. Are you certified? So all of those things is what's conducted in the assessment. And then we create a work plan that really guides you through that process. If you need assistance with marketing yourself, we create contractor profiles. We identify what types of certifications are best suited for your business, and if you're planning to work with which agencies, what certifications are of value to you. We do bid document review, which is basically identify a project with one of our sponsors. We are there to review those projects with you. We do not provide you with the numbers, but we do help you understand if you didn't sign a document, or did you consider that this particular project is 19 weekends. So we do kind of ask those questions, and we're providing another level of extra set of eyes, pair of eyes to review the bid for you. We also, if you are running a project with one of our contract sponsors, we provide contract completion support. So we not only want to make sure that our supervisors and the our county and the agencies that we work with, that they actually get their collateral that they put up back in return, but we also want to make sure that the contractor completes the project successfully. We do have a lot of training that we offer, and so those trainings are great for you because they are specifically tied to construction related topics, so really emerging topics on bidding and estimating and contract awarded management. We actually have a training coming up for contract awarded management on I believe next week. So if you're interested, Renata, if you can put that information in the chat for those individuals who would be interested in that. That's really about, okay, the bidding and estimating, bidding on this project, I'm now awarded the project. So how do I complete the project successfully? And that's what contract award and management is there for. Our prime partnership program, we partner with our prime contractors to lead these classes. It gives you an opportunity to network with these individual primes to get a better understanding of who the primes are, what they're requiring from small businesses, and it gives you an opportunity to build relationships with the prime contractors. Next slide. So I'm going to quickly go through this document here and the next slide. I'm just talking about bid document review and what we do with the bid document reviews. I talked a little bit about it. So we have a field support project manager, and we have other contractors, other individuals on our team who have construction management background. So we really are there to provide you with assistance in reviewing your bids. Again, we don't provide the numbers, but we will review the bid with you to make sure that you've considered some of the things that may not be obvious to you. And we're there as an extra set of eyes. Next slide. Once a contract is awarded, we are definitely involved and engaged because we want to make sure, obviously, you feel you complete the project successfully. But we also want to make sure that the money that we put out for collateral is put back into the pool of funds so that we can help the next business. And that next business might be you. So this is just a pattern of how contractors grow their capacity. We will provide a job start checklist to make sure that you have considered all the things that need to be considered when you're starting your projects. We will provide you with documents that if you don't currently have a change order log, if you don't have a document for tracking certain activities, safety, all those things are provided. Our field support project manager has over 30 years of experience in different capacities, and again, we have a team that have a background in construction management, and we're there to support you along the way. Next slide. So if you need any additional information about our program, here is our contact information, our phone number, our email address. I want to take this moment to also introduce my colleague, Janet Ramirez, who will be going over our contract-based financing assistance program, which is a part of our contractor development program. Again, two major issues that contractors have is bonding, access to bonding, and access to collateral. So, Janet.
Thank you, Lakisha. As mentioned, my name is Janet Ramirez. I am the contract-based financing analyst for Merriweather and Williams. And today I'll be talking about one of our newer programs, which is the contract-based financing program, also known as CFAP. So CFAP is a short-term loan program that is geared towards small and diverse businesses and contractors where they can use their awarded contract as collateral. So it's viewed as a job-specific type of financing. So this program will help contractors with their cash flow needs, and it provides that financial lifeline. When working with public agencies, there are delays in payments, usually taking up about 60 to 120 days. So these funds can be used for payroll, paying for supplies, materials, and we like to say it's a little bit more than just the funds that you need. It'll create the cash flow that you'll need to complete the project. So some of the requirements that we require to participate in this would be to be enrolled in the Contractor Development and Bonding Program. So that would be the first step. The second step would be to be a SBE. So these funds can be used towards construction contracts only as of right now. And what we do is, the collateral is used as a starting point for your beginning cash. So what we do is we'll go ahead and complete a cash flow projection for you to see what it is that you need, how much money you need to be lended. And then the nice thing about this is that, let's say you are approved for $250,000 per project, we won't release all the funds to you upfront. We will only release what is needed to you. And then again, the pre-qualification process will go over all of the documents, contract review. We'll see how much money you really need, because we don't want to lend you more than what you need, because all we need to do is kind of get you through the project so you guys can complete that. So one of the other requirements is when you are getting this loan, there is a third-party funds administrator that is required. So if it is a sponsored project, the city, the county will go ahead and sponsor that third-party funds administration fee that we have. So one of the most important questions that we get is what is the interest rate on that? So it would be a 9% plus a 1% origination fee on these loans. We do work with PACE. So they are our lenders. So all of this might seem a little high, but it's usually the best option rather than these contractors putting all of these materials and payroll on their credit cards when these credit card fees can be like 18 to 24% interest rate. So what we do is we show you the skills of how to cash flow the project, how to monitor the project from the beginning to the end of it. So we'll go ahead and include your interest payments within that time frame of the project. So once you're done with the project, you'll have that loan paid off. So the way this with the funds administrator in place, we'll go ahead and make sure that your bills are paid first, which would mean any vendors, materials, payroll that you may need. And then the second person who would get paid in line would be the lender. So making those interest payments or principal payments, and then whatever profit you get, then it would be released to you. And that would be how the the CFAP program. So that would be it in regards to that. We do encourage you guys to get pre-qualified as we like to prepare you first, and then we'll go ahead and meet with you, go over all of the loan documentation, go over contract review. Once we have the contract review, we can go ahead and move forward and send it over to our lender for approval. So we do have these loans in place, but the approval process is just once a month. So we do encourage that pre-qualification to get you ready prior to your start date for that project once it is awarded to you. And then I can take any questions now, or you guys can put them in the chat.
Thank you, Janet. That was wonderful. And thank you for sharing that valuable information. We'll accept all questions at the end of presentations today. So now that we've heard the amazing benefits of CFAP, our next speakers are here to share their CFAP journey with all of us today. Please welcome Bethany and Adam White from Fixed Dimensions.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Bethany.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for having me. Adam is actually in the field today, so I will be representing Fixed Dimensions.
Perfect, thank you. So thank you for taking time to speak with us today. We are excited to hear about your company's success and journey. So let's get started. Please introduce your company and what your specialty is.
Sure, so we are a cabinet supply and cabinet installation company. We recently became signatory with the union, and we've now been in the commercial multi-unit project space for about 2 to 3 years.
Amazing. How did you hear about the Contract Financing Assistance Program?
So we actually met Rick with Meriwether and Williams at a networking event at SoFi Stadium. There were a lot of agencies being represented. We were very overwhelmed, and Rick was just very welcoming. So we ended up kind of by happenstance speaking with him, and he just took the time to get to know us and our business, and we could see that it would be a very good partnership.
Can you please share the process once you contacted John and Janet from CFAP? Can you expand on that process and how that went?
See, yeah, we had a initial phone call in which we kind of just discussed our business and the contract that we had just received. And I think the biggest jumping off point was that we had explored a traditional bank loan and we were not approved. So we had a contract that we had been awarded, and we really didn't have the capital to fund the job. So they just took the time to review our financials, take a look at our books, figure out our cash flow projection for this project, and put together a really helpful spreadsheet that kind of just projected out 6 to 9 months what we would need. And then we kind of filled in the blanks and just kind of discussed the project, our labor and material costs. And at the end of it, it was a very clear picture of the cash flow and the capital required to successfully do the job.
Wonderful. And how has CFAP assisted you on contracts?
It's been very useful. As you had mentioned, or as Janet mentioned, once we had the contract, they reviewed it. And we were then able to start the project. We were able to, of course, pay our material costs, our labor costs. Most of these jobs don't pay for 90 to 120 days. So as we got into the project, we were able to do an extremely good job because we obviously could do the cabinet installation portion, but we really made a name for ourselves, which then allowed us to, be asked to continue bidding projects of that size. And it helped us grow our business and gain experience in larger contracts. And so I think we couldn't have done it without the program, definitely. And it was just a joint partnership in their support throughout the process.
Wonderful. I'm glad CFAP was able to make a significant contribution to your company. So last, what advice would you give to small and diverse contractors in relation to the application process?
The first step would be to make sure that your financials are in order. So make sure your books are up to date, make sure that you do have that, past job tracking history so that you really do know your numbers. Because really that's where you're going to start, is you need to see where you are financially today or when you've been awarded the project, and then you can project what you will need. So absolutely the first step, have your financials in order.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bethany, for sharing all this valuable information. And I'm so happy that CFAP was able to make these amazing contributions, and we wish you and Adam continuous success with Fixed Dimensions.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Perfect. Now we would like to ask all of you a quick poll question. So I will share that with you and give you a moment to answer. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So next up, from LA Metro's Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department, we have Olga Lopez, Senior Representative, and Ramon Ortiz, Director of Certification. Ms. Lopez has served the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority for over 20 years. Today, she serves as Senior Representative in the Strategic Business and Construction Career Services Unit within the Diversity and Economic Opportunity Department, also referred to as DEOD. As a spokesperson for DEOD, she is responsible for small business programs outreach. Mr. Ortiz has over 19 combined years of experience in DBE and SBE goal setting and certification, labor wage compliance, and project labor agreement compliance. Mr. Ortiz serves as a director of the certification unit. Thank you, Olga, and I will let you speak.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for including Metro's Diversity and Economic Opportunity to today's workshop, virtual workshop. It's definitely our pleasure to be able to join and share with you what opportunities are available with LA Metro. And one of the things that or actually a keyword that I have been hearing as you all presented, Lakisha and your team, is that our small businesses are not alone. We are all here to help. And so I want to join in that effort because as a representative of DEOD, that's one of the things that we are very proud in sharing that, in fact, as you all start moving forward with the process of doing business with Metro, we want to ensure that you receive a full circle of support so that your business can grow with our agency, because we're proud to say that your success, it's also our success. So I am representing DEOD. We are a unit of vendor contract management, and we are responsible for all of Metro small business programs, which includes the Metro Connect. Our role is to champion your ingenuity, commitment, and can-do spirit within Metro and to the larger community. We do this by notifying our small business community about contracting opportunities. We promote the procurement processes, and we advocate for a level playing field and fostering improved communication. We're here to connect you with Metro staff so that you are also equipped and you can develop the relationships that is going to be needed to be able to do business more effectively. We are who you can consider your friends on the inside. We are the advocates. We serve as system navigators, and our department is responsible for administering and overseeing small business program initiatives. I mentioned earlier that we publicize the contracting opportunities. We also provide training and resources, and we set goals on our contracts. And last but not least, very importantly, we monitor compliance. Next slide, please. And next, I am delighted to turn over the presentation to my friend and colleague, the Director of Certification, Ramon Ortiz. Ramon.
Hey, didn't we just do one of these recently? Thank you, Olga. Hi, everybody, and welcome. As mentioned, I'm the Director of Certification at LA Metro. LA Metro currently offers 2 certifications, and I'm going to go over their benefits, what they are, give you a brief description, and why they're important. First and foremost, small business certifications are very similar to professional certifications in that they document a status that may help you compete in the workplace. Pretty much what they're going to do, these certifications, is make you visible to everybody, especially our prime contractors. Our prime contractors are required to meet SB and DBE goals that we set on them on Metro specific projects. Other agencies also utilize these certifications, and I'll kind of speak on that later on. But as a certified firm, you're very critical to the completion of that project, and more importantly, to the prime contractor's ability to meet those goals. So pretty much what we're going to do by getting you certified is we're going to make you visible. We're going to make you visible to not only our prime contractor community, but also statewide, federal, and again, I'll go ahead and cover the importance of that. Getting certified levels the playing field, provides a fair opportunity for small businesses to compete for federally and non-federally funded transportation contracts, and those that are controlled by small and socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Basically what it does, it puts you on the map, it gives you a fair opportunity to compete, especially on a lot of the infrastructure projects that we have going on in our county. Okay, next slide. Okay, so again, we currently certify for 2 and Step 1. There's a little bit of change with that, and I'll go over it when it relates to SBE, but first and foremost, I'll go over the DBE program. The DBE program, of course, is a federal program. It requires applicants to be both socially and economically disadvantaged as outlined in the Code of Federal Regulations, 49, Part 26. Being a member agency of the California Unified Certification Program, Metro accepts the DBE certifications from other member agencies. Locally, that would include LA World Airports, the city of LA, San Diego. For example, San Diego Airport certifies and we accept theirs. because we have the same process. And likewise, if you get certified by Metro, you could go work at the city if they have a DBE goal, or at the airport if they have a DBE goal as well. They accept our certification. The small business enterprise, the SBE certification, is specific to Metro in that it's our own program. It's structured and built to mirror the DBE program, with the exception that it's race and gender neutral. Our SBE program, again, is specific to ours. If you're certified with somebody else, you are certified with somebody else, another agency, we don't accept theirs. However, some local agencies like LA Unified, County of LA, they do accept ours. So if you get certified with us, you could, in theory, go work with them. We do not have any formal reciprocity, but it is accepted in the region. The DBBE, which is the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, we do not certify for. However, we do have reciprocity with the Department of General Services in the state of California. So if you are seeking DBBE opportunities and meet the requirements, you would go get certified by them. And we do it once you provide proof that you're certified through them. We do accept that. And you can use that on our projects. Next slide. Okay. So what are the requirements for getting DB and SB certified? First, you got to be an independent business organized for profit. That obviously excludes nonprofit organizations. Your net worth at this current time cannot exceed 1.32 million. I say current time because that's proposed to be increased soon. We just haven't gotten a formalized date of when that's going to happen. It should be increasing to 1.6 million. The annual gross receipts average must be less than 26.29 million. That's actually been increased. So luckily this year, they did increase that one. So it's currently 30.40 million. That's the increase. That's an oversight on my part. I apologize for that, but that has been increased and seems to be increasing yearly to take into consideration inflation. This is very important. The qualified individual must demonstrate that they control the management and daily business operations. Very important when we make an assessment as to whether or not a firm qualifies. That's a very critical component that must be established for us to move forward. 51% ownership by one or more economically disadvantaged individuals has to be established. If it's 50-50 and one of them doesn't meet the program requirements, we cannot certify the firm. However, 51% or more ownership is held by one or more economically disadvantaged individuals. We could proceed forward, and it could be more than more than one. It could be up to, there is really no limit so much as we were able to establish that. Next slide. Okay, so here are some additional requirements for a DBE. DBE must also be socially disadvantaged. Socially disadvantaged is what we call the presumptive groups that are identified by the federal government. That includes African Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, subcontinent Asian Americans, and women. Next slide. Okay. So the way we certify online. We use the B2G Now online certification application portal. It's actually, we were the first agency to implement this. And now it's become common throughout the CUCP. I think there was some lesson learned during the pandemic. Where during the pandemic, a lot of agencies were still accepting paper files where we were already online. So people were at home, so they came to us and applied and got certified with us. It's a streamlined service where all your uploads and everything, goes through that. Your submittals, all your documentation, all communications done online. It's a very user-friendly platform. Has some very valuable tools, as in tracking, this is where you're at in your applications, the percentage complete you are, and what you need to do to complete that. Again, all communications through that. They do offer webinar support and 24-hour technical support. We make sure that they do that because you could be very late working on your application because that's the only time you have. We want to make sure that the support that you need is available. Next slide. So these are the certification resources that are available to you. Again, if you want to start your application, get certified as an SBE or DBE with Metro, You go to metro.go b2g.com. Access to the server and completion of your application is completely free of charge. That's a resource that is provided by Metro for you to actually get certified. DBE being important because if you're certified with us, DBE again is good throughout the state of California. That puts you on the databases not only for Metro, that puts you on the state database and also puts you on the federal database. Being DBE certified allows you also to go to another state and allows you to streamline the process because we are your home state and you can get certified in all 50 states if you so desire. But the way to get started is to go through metro.go b2g.com. I know some people would rather speak to us than go through technical support. I totally understand that. Shoot us an email, certificationunit@metro.net. My team looks into that and we usually respond within 8 hours and sometimes even sooner than that. It just really depends when we see it and when you send it. Our telephone number again is a hotline, and if somebody doesn't pick up, it goes to our voicemail 213-922-2600. You can reach us there, give us your question, give us your contact information, we'll get back to you. And of course, I have to refer you back to Olga's wonderful metro.net/connect, which has all this resource information there for you as well, for you to get started and get through your application and any questions. And it also connects you to us. So we're more than happy to provide that for you. And with that, I'll go ahead and return that over to Olga so she could kind of go over our small business programs.
Thank you, Ramon. We do have some Metro small business programs that are available to assist our small business community. And I know that there's a very, very recent one that I didn't get to share with you all today. However, I also want to encourage you to join us at our events. Please visit the vendor portal, as Ramon mentioned, that was included in his slide. It's metro.net/connect. So one of the small business programs that I will have the opportunity to share with you is the set aside, the Small Business Prime. SB Prime is the acronym that we use. We also have the Medium-Sized Business Enterprise and the Contracting Outreach and Mentoring Plan, the COMP. Next slide, please. The SB Prime program was cited as the U.S. best practice by the Lisk LA Milliken Institute, Bruce Katz Brukin Institute, and Metro has created this groundbreaking program that is allowing SBEs to compete as primes. SBEs can compete only against other SBEs on a competitively negotiated RFPs from $3,000 up to $5 million. And this is on all of Metro's federal and non-federal contracts. The SBEs compete only against other SBEs on competitively low bids from $3,000 to $3 million. And this has flipped the business model because SBEs are primes and large businesses, and you get an opportunity to bring in subs and built in a mentorship. The numbers keep changing. This states over 188. We are now at over $220 million that have been awarded to SBEs. So basically, guys, if you bid on any of our SBE solicitations, as long as you perform 30% of the job and you hire a major prime contractor who will perform the remaining 70%, this allows you to bid on multiple projects. We have many successful stories who have benefited from the SB Prime program that is available with our agency. Next slide, please. The Medium-Sized Enterprise, MIS. It's a new set aside that bridges the gap between the small business and the large business concern. So basically, you have graduated from the SBE and DBE program, then now you're in that middle as a medium-sized firm. So what is next? Well, we created this program so that the firm is not a subsidiary of another firm. You have to prove that with the 3-year average, you are at between 25 million and 250 million, which is the maximum gross annual receipts, and a maximum of 250 employees. Metro will be validating this information in order to qualify you under this program. And how does it work? Well, Metro invites firms of any size to bid and propose under the MIS program. If we receive 2 or more responsive MIS-size bidders, this will trigger the set-aside. And if it's less than 2, then the solicitations is open to all for bidding opportunities. Pardon. Next slide. Here is a slide of how the new SB Prime and the medium-sized programs enhancements work. Again, I encourage you to visit our vendor portal so that you can access our toolkit. Is basically a resource guide, and this document is included in that resource guide that will assist with any questions that you may have about any of our programs. Next slide, please. And we added this is new, it's a 2-tiered MIS 1 and a MIS 2. And Metro has included definitions about how these 2 programs, this 2-tiered program is working, sorry. So there's 2 ways to meet the definition for medium-sized 1. And that is that a firm is not a subsidiary of another firm that has gross annual receipts average over 3 years, or a number of employees that do not exceed 1.5 times the small business size standard that has been set forth under the 13 CFR Part 121 and its applicable North American Industry Classification System NICS code, which is hopefully many of you are familiar with. Regardless of the above definition for an MSZ1, a certified Metro SBE firm and a certified DBE firm by the California Certification Program, CUCP, or a certified as a DVBE by the Department of General Services are allowed to compete for these types of contracts. The firms deemed no longer eligible under the certification program must meet the definition of an MSC1. Again, if you graduate out of the certification program, then this is where additional assistance is then available for medium-sized firms. Now, under the medium-sized 2 definition, a firm that is not a subsidiary of another firm that has a gross receipts of at least 26.30 million and does not exceed 2 times the small business size standards in dollars as set forth in 13 CFR Part 121. There's an average over 3 years of or a number of employees in its applicable North American Industry Certification System, NICS codes. Next slide, please. Now, the next program, COMP, the Contracting Outreach and Mentoring Plan. This is for RFPs and IFBs. 25 million and above are required to submit a plan, and it includes an architecture and engineering. The architecture and engineering is exempt, pardon me. The objective of this program is to measurably grow the capacity of a DBE and an SBE and a DVBE firm. In other words, a small businesses that are under our certification program. The bidders must, or proposers must include or host an outreach event for the small businesses to participate prior to the submittal. So if you're a DBE or an SBE, you would benefit from this program because the bidders would be including outreach events so that you can learn about the opportunities with them directly. The bidders must also provide innovative, measurable mentoring plans and evaluation criteria. Include a detailed technical assistance strategies and identify mentors and proteges as is required by the solicitation. They also need to include or specify subcontracting approach for Metro's review and approval. This program seems to be very successful when these bidders and proposers are hosting their outreach events. They immediately contact my unit and we include their outreach events under the comp program in Metro's calendar of event. Again, this is included in the vendor portal at metro.net/connect. Next slide, please. And this is the vendor portal. Here's where you can access the solicitations, where you can register as a vendor, where you can begin, as Ramon mentioned, your certification process. It's included here. And access Metro Small Business Toolkits, the resource guide that I mentioned. Under events and news, that's where I encourage you to log on and learn about what we are included in terms of outreach events. And I want to take this opportunity to share with you that we were just contacted by one of our departments, quality assurance within Metro. There is a bus tire leasing and maintenance services system-wide. We're going to be hosting a virtual outreach event for tire and wheel maintenance services. So if you are in this field or if you know of someone who may benefit from this outreach event, we have scheduled a virtual workshop for next Wednesday, September 20th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30. And we are encouraging you to register to attend, but it's a great opportunity to be right in front of the project manager and the contract administrator who's going to be overseeing this solicitation. So please visit the vendor portal, the one that you see right here on our page, on our computers, metro.net/connect. All of our information for our small business community is included in this vendor portal. And again, I want to thank you. And now I'd like to turn over the presentation back to our host, Lakisha. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga and Ramon. We appreciate all your knowledge and passion for our small and diverse contractor community. Next up, we have from LA County's Internal Services Department, we have Christy Carr, Division Manager from Purchasing and Contract Services.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Oh, sorry, for some reason my video just stopped working. Uh-oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Christy. I would just like to share that we will be sending all of the valuable information being shared today to all our participants, and we would like everyone to be cautious of their presenting time. So we have about 25 minutes left in today's workshop.
Yes, I actually had a 2 o'clock meeting that I'm late for. For some reason, my video is not working, but we'll go ahead and get started because we are sensitive on the time here. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christy Carr. I am ISD's Contracting Division Manager here. I actually oversee and manage 7 different sections at the Internal Services Department at the county. And for those of you who are not familiar with the county, we are a very, very large local government here. We have actually 39 different departments, and my services actually go to all 39 different county departments. So I provide contracting for general services and also IT services countywide. And I just want to give a shout out and thank you so much to Meriwether Williams for having me today, and also our supervisor, Celise. Agenda today, I'm going to introduce you to our vendor registration portal. So for those of you who are not familiar with that and not registered to do business with the county, that is step number 1. And then I want to introduce you to the RFSQ process here. This is one of the solicitations most commonly used at the county. And then the corresponding master agreement that is awarded as a result of that solicitation, and the subordinate work order award process. And then, of course, what's most important probably to all of you is the open contracting opportunities that we have here at ISD. And then I want to show you guys some of our websites and different resources that are available to all of our vendors. And then I always like to close it out with some best practices when contracting with the county. Okay. And then if we have time, we'll go into Q&A. All right, first, registration. The link here that you're seeing in blue at the bottom is where you will go to register to do business with the county. In order to be awarded a purchase order, agreement, or a contract with the county, you must be registered. And to register, once you go to that website that was provided in blue on the slide before, you're going to click on the register button that is in the red square right there. This is our landing page, which is our doing business with lacounty.gov. And so this is where you can register to do business with the county, and you can also search for open solicitations, and I'll show you where to do that later. So registration, when you click on that button, the new registration process here, you'll then click on the button that you're seeing again in the red right there, and it is a 5-step process, and you just need 4 things in order to register to do business with the county. It is very, very quick. It takes about 10 minutes. You'll need your taxpayer ID number. You'll need your company organization information such as address, contact name, phone number, etc. And then you'll need your sales tax permit number, and then your commodity codes, all of the commodity codes for the types of products and services that you can provide to the county. And that is it. Once you click on that registration page, this is a 5-step, this is the overview of the 5-step process and the screen that you'll see. So each of the 5 steps have a similar screen. You'll enter in the information. So this one is your vendor profile. Once you add in your organization information, address, number of employees, etc., you'll go then to the next 5 pages. So I'm not going to take you through it all because of lack of time here, but I just want you to see that it is a 5-step process. You'll need those 4 items, and it is very quick and easy for you to register to do business with us. And it is really important to register also because not only is that a way to, one, get awarded a PO and a contract, but also it's how we can pay you for that PO or contract. But also it's how you're going to get notifications. So when we have open solicitations that we release, the commodity codes that you include on your profile are how you're going to get the emails for our solicitations. And so it's really important that you select all of the commodity codes for the goods and services that you can provide to us, because you'll get direct emails automated to that email address that you have on profile here. Okay, and next slide, please. Okay, the request for statement of qualification solicitation. Here at the county, we love our acronyms. This is called the RFSQ. And I want to introduce you to this today because it has been it's a very, very common solicitation that we use here at the county. Two, because this is one of the solicitations that we're using to unbundle our large service contracts to create much smaller solicitations that result in much smaller awards. And three, because it's a much smaller pool of competitors that you're going to be participating with. So we use this type of solicitation when we want to establish a pool of pre-qualified contractors that can provide a service. And then what we do is once we've established that pool of qualified contractors, then we create and release statements of work for the specific work as needed, and then release those subordinate smaller solicitations. And those smaller solicitations just go to that small pool of qualified contractors. So again, much smaller competition than your normal like RFP that goes out to maybe like 10,000 or so. And then another reason why I like these RFSQs also is because they're open and continuous, which means unlike the RFP that has a very specific proposal due date and time, these typically, I would say, 95% of the time, these types of solicitations stay open for the entire term of the contract. And then if you have a submittal that needs to be corrected, we also allow for the opportunity to correct that submittal and resubmit. And then qualifications include experience, so years of experience, maybe some specific licenses that would be required for the services, or maybe different certifications as well. So this is the type of solicitation that I'm going to be presenting to you today and the benefits from it. And then the response to that solicitation is a statement of qualification. It's called an SOQ. Again, a much quicker, easier solicitation process. And in that SOQ, the firms, you would identify your minimum number of years of experience for the specific service type or service category that you're qualifying for. And you can qualify for one service category or all service categories, or maybe just a couple service categories. And I'll show you what those look like a little bit later. So you're going to make sure that you're able to identify and capture in your submission that you can meet the minimum numbers of years of experience. And also, if we require it, sometimes we don't, any specific certifications or licenses that would be required as well. So this is the response. So instead of a proposal or a bid, we call it an SOQ, a statement of qualification. And then the workflow for this type of solicitation is as follows. And so this is, I'm going to say that this is a standard workflow. I do want to note that we are decentralized here at the county with our contracting process. So this workflow may deviate from department to department depending on who is managing the solicitation, but most commonly this is what we see. So we would release these RFSQ solicitation for the type of services that we need here at the county based on those requirements. And then vendors would submit their statement of qualification in response to that. ISD, my department, if we're releasing the solicitation, we would then evaluate your response, which is that SOQ. And then if we're able to, and if you meet the requirements, minimum years of experience, any licenses and certifications that are needed, then we would be able to qualify you and then execute the master agreement. And then we would add you to our service category under that master agreement. And then as we have specific needs for the services, we would then develop a statement of work and release a subordinate solicitation. Most of the time we call that a work order solicitation. And then we would award either the purchase order or work order based on low bid or other evaluation criteria. And I'm going to show you that in the next slide. And then once that work order is awarded, then you would perform the work. And next slide. And so the work order award process for this type of solicitation can be one of two different types of methodologies. One, it could be just based on low bid, so where the factor that we're evaluating is just cost, or we could have it be a fully evaluated work order solicitation where we are considering other factors other than cost. For example, cost, quality and responsiveness, different qualifications, references, interviews, maybe demonstrations, or also proposer presentations as well. So again, each solicitation will vary based on the type of services and requirements from our customer. And then here at ISD, we have a lot of master agreement contracting opportunities. All of the master agreement opportunities that I'm showing you today are open and continuous for several years. So most of the time they're typically a 5-year term. So that means that firms can submit their statement of qualification at any time throughout that 5-year term. And again, as I mentioned, once you submit your statement of qualification, let's say you're missing a signature, or let's say your firm forgets to include one of the forms that's required, or maybe you don't meet initially the number of years of experience. Let's say we're asking for 2 years of experience, you're providing HVAC services within the past 3. You can still resubmit. So let's say, later down, you want to submit a year from now. Once you get that experience, you can resubmit your statement of qualification. Or, if you're missing a signature, missing a form, we'll go back to you and we'll work with you to get that completed and resubmitted. So these are the open contracting opportunities that I currently have here at ISD. Another thing about these are all countywide. So I open these up to all of our 39 different departments here at the county. So anybody that has a need for these services can submit a request for us and we'll release solicitations to award the services. So we've got telecommunications, we have language services, we have document storage and scanning services. We have small office equipment repair and maintenance services for like small desktop printers and faxes. And then we have as needed transportation services. And the previous slide had a bunch on those as well too. And the specific ones I'm going to go over with you today are construction related ones. So the first, there's 2 that I want to highlight for you that actually we've seen a huge increase in need from our customers. The first one is our Disaster and Emergency Services Master Agreement. This is what we call DESMA. This is an open and continuous ongoing solicitation. The solicitation number is here on the left. You can find the solicitation and respond to it using our doingbusiness.lacounty.gov link that you're seeing there on the top right in blue. And then I also put our contract analyst information on here in case you have any questions at all. And then the next slide is going to show you the list of the categories. This master agreement program was heavily utilized during COVID, and it's also used during our disasters. So whenever we have floods, whenever we have earthquakes, whenever we have fires, our County Office of Emergency Operations and other departments come use this master agreement program. So on the left, you're seeing the current categories that we have. These are all of the different services that we solicit for under this master agreement program. And on the right, these are new categories that we have just added: security services and traffic control. I'm telling you right now, security services is huge. This is a really big one for us right now. Also, category number 8, relocation services, is also really big for us right now. And then we also have the fire, life, and safety and debris removal. Number 1 and 2 are also heavily used right now. And we're going to most likely be adding lock services as well here in the near future. So firms that are interested and can provide these services, again, can submit to qualify under one category or many categories. And then when we have a need for services, we then solicit the services and award those services. DESMA is not to exceed 90 days of services, and the firms must be immediately available within 24 hours notice, because obviously these are disaster services. And then the next master agreement program that I wanted to highlight for you today is our FASMA. Also in the construction lane, this is our Facility Ancillary Services Master Agreement. This has about a $40 million expenditure annually under this master agreement program, so a lot of contracting opportunities. Again, it's open and continuous. There's the solicitation number for you, and also on the right is our contract analyst. If you have any questions, reach out to these analysts and they'll be happy to help you and walk you through the process, because unlike an RFP, we can do that. We are able to ask questions. We're able to help you with the submission. And then let me show you the service categories on this FASMA. These are all the service categories under the FASMA. Abatement and remediation. We have as needed consulting services, different general services, waste and rubbish removal, dead animal. I don't even like to say that one out loud, but it is what it is. Custodial services, we tapped into that number 6 very, very frequently during COVID. And also now as we are returning to the offices, we're also using number 6 a lot. And then on the right, you're seeing all of the new categories that we just added. Event services. Event services is used for our elections. When we need to stand up all of our polling stations and election sites, we use that category. Then we've got plumbing. HVAC, especially right now during the summer, is heavily used. Door repair, fire alarm maintenance, and also painting as well. This is, again, another countywide master agreement opportunity for you guys. And then transportation services. I have to throw this one out there. I know it's really not probably in your lane, but I only have, when I was saying it's a much smaller competition field, is with transportation services, I only have 2 contractors qualified under transportation services right now, just 2. And I have ongoing needs for these. I actually just got a request today for transportation services. So this is shuttles, it's buses, anywhere in Los Angeles area and surrounding areas. And we've got 2 different price schedules here. It's on a per mile basis, number 1 right there, or a fixed route basis, which means to endpoint, and we provide you guys with the locations. A couple of really cool projects I want to highlight on this one are for the fire department, for their lifeguard training programs, and also their junior lifeguard training programs, and also the day at the marina events as well. So this is being used currently with the fire department and also Parks and Rec. So we have current and immediate needs for transportation services. So definitely take a look at these open contracting opportunities we have for you out there. Vendor registration, if you need help registering, we have a vendor relations team here at ISD. They can be contacted here on the left at that email and contact number right there. And then again, our doingbusiness.lacounty.gov website, where you can not only find these master agreement opportunities that I presented to you today, but all open solicitations. So all open solicitations are posted on this website. And that's the landing page. You can do a keyword search. So for here, we're seeing the keyword search with computers. You can search by solicitation number, those solicitation numbers I gave you, or you can also search by department as well. So when you search for computers using that example that I just provide, you'll get the search results. This is an example of what you'll see on the search page. And then you'll click on the solicitation number that interests you. And it'll take you to a page like this. And this is what you'll immediately see. So it has the open date, it has the closing date. This one's continuous and open throughout the term. And then we always include our contact information to reach out to us with questions. And then to access the solicitation document, this is what you'll be looking at. And if you just scroll down on the page, you'll see the attachments. And that is the actual link to the solicitation files. And so that's what you're going to need to click on in blue right there. RFSQ files, or maybe RFP files or IFB files. And so those are that's the actual solicitation document. And you'll open that document and then you'll see all of the instructions on the important dates to submit questions, the important date to submit your bid or proposal, how you're going to be evaluated. It'll also include the statement of work, and we always also include a contract as well, so you know what you're signing up for. And then best practices, I always just like to end with some of my recommendations and tips when doing business with the county, or just actually in general whenever you're working with any local or federal government agency. Make sure that you're thoroughly reviewing and also responding to the solicitation. We do have even the largest firms, you'll be surprised that they miss information. They'll skip over sections. So make sure that you're thoroughly reviewing and responding to each section in the solicitation that you're responsible for. And then when we offer them, always attend the bidders or proposers conferences that we hold. It's a great opportunity to meet the contract staff, meet the operations staff, and also ask questions to us and learn more about the solicitation. We always present some additional information at those conferences. And we also always typically will also offer a site visit or a job walk following those conferences. And then ask questions. We always provide an opportunity to ask questions in the solicitation process, and we respond to every question that we receive through an addendum that is posted. And if we're releasing an addendum with Q&A, make sure you're accounting for that Q&A, because most oftentimes that will also change the specs as well too. So that's all that I had for you guys today. And again, thank you so much for having me. And there's a lot of great contracting opportunities out there for you guys here at the county. We have about a $2 billion annual spend in purchasing with tangible goods and materials. And then we have anywhere between a $6 and $8 billion annual spend with services. And those were the ones that I presented to you guys today. So a lot of open opportunities out there, 39 different departments releasing solicitations. And if you have any questions, I know we're short on time and I rushed through that, but we'll be providing this deck out to you guys. And I'm always available to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you for sharing all that detailed information with us. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Up next, we have LA County Public Works, Sue Kim and Robert Murphy.
Hello, my name is Robert Murphy. I'm getting a message that the video has been stopped because the host stopped it. Does that mean that I'm done?
I had that problem too, Robert. I couldn't get my camera back on. It was working and then I couldn't get it back up. It was blocked.
Okay, so I just go for it?
Let me fix that for you. Give me 1 second. Perfect, Robert. You're good to go.
Okay, thanks so much. How much time do I have?
We are a little bit over, so I would say about 10 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Even 10 minutes, I can say a lot of words in 10 minutes, so I'll just try to keep them focused and important. First of all, my name is Robert Murphy. I work for LA County Public Works. So I'm not so important, but LA County Public Works is. And let me just tell you a little bit about us. We have a lot of operations. We touch so many things in Los Angeles County that people don't even know what we do. They say, "Oh, you guys do electricity or pick up garbage." We touch the floodways. We do sewer maintenance. We're doing the roadways. We are doing debris cleanup after disasters. We have a wide range of major construction projects that are going on. As Supervisor Solis mentioned earlier, there are a ton of construction projects coming out, and it doesn't matter what type of construction you're in, horizontal, vertical, subconsultants, small, big. There's something for everybody, and so keep that in mind. It's it may we're going to go through just a few things here, but they're going to be very similar to what Ramon and Olga talked about and what Christy talked about. She talked about the process already. Christy's our colleague of mine from ISD, and they are the county policy. I mean, the county's contracting policy makers. And she talked about the vendor, but that's on our slide here too. So that is step one. She said that you have to be a vendor. And then step two is the certifications. I won't go into this too much either, but we do have a certification program separate from the one that Ramon was talking about with Metro, but very similar. We have they're essentially preference programs for people that of certain types of businesses, and you definitely want to look into each one of those or reach out to us or the number that was on that slide and see if you do qualify, because it can make a big difference. That's where the certify is, and throughout this presentation we'll have contact information. You can always reach out to us. And so that's step one, and I suggest you always do step two. Some people, even the sub-consultants, people that think, or companies that are maybe, I'll never get a prime contract. Well, you should still do it, because we have some best efforts and some best effort goals for some of those certifications where the prime contractors have to make best efforts to use a certain number of some of those types of businesses. Okay, so step three, this is doing business with us. And so you might be wondering, well, why is Public Works here? Step one is the vendor registration. That's a different department. Step two is the certification. That's a different department. Well, we're here because we have a lot of opportunities for contractors. And that kind of goes back to where I started. And that's, we have so many services that we provide that we need a lot of different types of help. So the diversity of our services require a diversity and a support from contractors. And so you may think, I don't fit in at the Public Works. That's not necessarily true. There's almost a place for most businesses at Public Works, whether it's supplies, construction, graphic artist services, consultant services, all types of different types of services. And so here's an example of some of the procurement that we do. There's a lot of, because of the services, we have to purchase a lot of supplies and materials, especially building materials. You can see a lot of the construction materials on the side there. I'm not going to go through that, but they appear on the website that Christy showed earlier, and they appear on ours when they're released. This is our website. It's different than the one Christy mentioned. That's the LA County website, that do business with LA County. This is do business with Public Works. Now, the solicitations on this website are specific to Public Works, but they will also be on that other website. So I suggest you use both of them. I'd be happy to go over this with you. I don't think we have enough time to go into detail, but it is split up so that you can look at it by the upcoming projects. Now that's tentative. It's not for sure that that's what we know now. It could change at any moment. But you do want to kind of look at those and then see what's open, and even look at the old ones and see if maybe there was something that is already been awarded, but we will need it again if we need it now, and you can prepare for it if it's a good fit. So be persistent, always stay informed, and network, go to the events, get to know the different people at the different agencies, and pay close attention to the little differences between us. And that's all this really is when you find something that's good for you, make sure that you sign up the right way. There's certain areas you want to watch out for, but at least sign up to be a plan holder. And even if you're not going to be a prime, there's an area for you to select as a sub. And so there'll be a list available to the public, the primes and the subs. So subs will be able to see the primes will be able to see the subs, and you can connect through that way also. And this is where if this is a project and they want to be a plan holder, so that you would register there. And once you do register there, make sure that if you do have a certification, I would list that there so that the plan holders can see that you are a local small business. And I'm sorry, can you go back when I got distracted? I'm sorry. So if you don't remember any of this, and I know this is a lot of information, and it seems if you're first starting, it can seem like an impossible endeavor, but it's not. The people are doing it. There's a lot of money in government contracting, and Supervisor Solis said there's a lot of, especially in the construction industry right now. And I see it every day. And so there's people out there doing it, and they had to start someplace. And so if you're one of those companies that just doesn't know where to start, you just start learning step by step. And it might take a little while, but be persistent, and you'll get there. One of the things that I would suggest that you do is to stay plugged into all the different events, all the different agencies. And one of the ways you can do that is by going to our website. And it's in the lower, I don't see it. Oh, it's dobusinesswithpublicworks.gov. And can you back up one slide? And if you don't do anything else, go to that website and enter your email address in there, and we will send the newly released solicitations directly to you once a week. And that way there's never a chance that you're going to miss the ones from Public Works. Those are the procurement ones and the ones that are requests for proposals or services. And we also have events and business resources on there. And so I tried to, I went through that very quickly, and we have people that are dedicated to help you go through it step by step if you ever need help. I think on the next slide there is a yes, the business relations at pw.lacounty.gov. If you send your questions there, somebody will reach out to you, and you'll get a very customized response or responses. So we don't just give you a canned email and send you on your way. We want to know what exactly is it that you need, and then we try our best to make that happen. And if it doesn't happen the first time, then we just come back around and we try again. And on the right hand side there is a link tree, and you can actually go through the 3 steps that we talked about earlier from that one spot there. And Julie just dropped in there. Thank you to Julie, and thank you to Christine. Thank you to everybody, Meriwether and Williams. Metro, is good to see you guys. Christy, always good to see you. And of course, everybody who's here. It's a pleasure to always talk to you.
Thank you, Robert, for sharing all that valuable information. And like you said, we will be sending out everyone's presentations today to the participants. So now I would like to ask Lakisha Bearden to come back on for final remarks.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you can hear me better. I had to change my laptop, but appreciate everyone being on the call today. Like I said earlier, I know that as small businesses, your time is valuable, and I wanted to make sure that we provide information that will allow you to really take advantage of the opportunities that are with Metro as well as the county. So want to give a thank you to Olga and Ramon, Christy with ISD, Public Works, Robert with Public Works, and honestly, your attendance here is one that is of value to the local economic undertaking of our community. So just really want to acknowledge Karina as well, and Supervisor Hilda Solis. Before we go, are there any questions that anyone has? Okay. Well, again, you can reach us at mwisinfo@imwis.com, or you can contact us at 213-258-3000. Thank you again, and look forward to seeing you on the next workshop.
Thank you, Lakisha, and thank you everyone for participating today. Have a good day. Thank you.